Greetings everyone and welcome to SpaceWeek Live for Sunday, August 8th, 2021. So we have some news to talk about in terms of space, but first I wanted to take a few moments to honor our good friend James Dale Duncan, commonly known as Dale to his friends and family. He was a longtime moderator on this channel, a good friend to many of us, including a personal friend to myself, as well as being a father, husband, and a lifelong expert in lasers, in fact. He passed away recently of natural causes in his home due to some medical condition complications. And I wanted to take a few moments to read some words that people have to say about him. This is from SMW381st, another one of our mods. I was pretty close to Dale, and we loved talking about motorcycles, and he had said that he had put 500,000 miles on motorcycles throughout his whole life, and I said that I might have only put 50,000 or so miles on all of mine. I also said that it's tough carrying 1,000 pounds of tools on a motorcycle. He asked me to come down where he lived so we could go riding in the mountains of North Carolina. And I wish I had, but I figured I was too old. Anyways, I will miss Dale, and all of us in the raw space stream will. Lost my place. He was like a brother to me, and there was not much we couldn't talk about. I also loved all of the music videos he posted in the stream, and it seemed like it was every 10 minutes or so he would post another video, a lot of which was about fighter aircraft and such. I will always miss Dale, and it is like a part of me is gone. I hope his family will be okay without him, and it will probably be pretty tough. Maybe we can go riding in heaven sometime. May Dale rest in peace. This from Chris V. Dale worked with lasers. He was very intelligent. Dale had an amazing depth of knowledge that I don't think anybody really scratched the surface of. Anytime I went to the Starman chat, I expected to see him there. Dale only had one working eye since childhood, although I believe he enjoyed telling people he lost it to lasers. He did tell me how he lost the eye. I believe it was actually due to the strangest thing. He was playing with like a corn cob with his either a friend or a sibling, and the stalk of the corn cob punctured his eye. He was, I think, somewhere between 6 and 12. He was a young kid at the time. But, okay. Cornfield, yeah, okay. Didn't tell me the extent of the damage except to say he could not see with that eye. The thing I remember most about Dale Duncan is all his funny anecdotes. He used to type out the one about Nightbot and ketchup so much that I made him the crunch command as a shortcut, which I'll put in the chat. The quote goes, well, here, let's let Nightbot. Nightbot's being a little slow. So I'll go ahead and move on. This from Astronomy Films. I remember the conversations we would have on the Starman stream. His friendly greetings always brightened my mood. Our quick chats catching up with each other were always a relieving break from the stress of work. Dale will truly be missed. Ah yes, the quote is, "Do not meddle in the affairs of Nightbot, for thou art crunchy and taste good with ketchup." It's a variation of a quote about dragons. This from Space Kitten, another of our moderators. I still can't believe it. I've shifted from grief to gratitude, though. I wish there was something we could do for his wife to help. I remember Dale had gotten a kitty and named it Princess, and Princess's favorite place to sleep was on top of the stove, but they all didn't care because Dale didn't do much cooking, so he just allowed Princess to sleep on the stove. Dale was a rare, genuine person whom I shall miss. This from Microbyte. Good hunting, fellow laser jockey. I'll miss our tech talk. Dale would always use the phrase good hunting. I'm not sure what the origin of that was, but it was kind of his version of farewell, I'll see you later. One of his many trademarks. This from Crystallina Bacteria in the UK. I cannot remember all the conversations with Dale, but all I know was that he was a very kind person on the Raw Space channel. He was welcoming and friendly. My first convo was mentioning about the paint work on the Starman Tesla car. He knew his stuff. From then on, I would go into the chat and he was always the first to say hi. I suffer from PTSD, and on top of that, we were all dealing with lockdown. I was, and I still am, looking after my dad, and to talk to people on this chat was amazing, funny, and a huge comfort. Dale came across as easygoing. There was one day I was doing a crossword while sitting with my dad, and he joined in. He told me his wife was highly intelligent. Another day this year, he sent a link to me of Mean Mary Banjo Player. I watched it on fast speed. I couldn't stop laughing and showed my daughter. I still have it in my email. He was strong, and I could tell he was determined to stay strong. I'm thankful for knowing Dale, and for his kindness. Will he be missed? Yes, he will. I send love to all his family and friends. Love to all. And this from Maria Kutujan. I'm very sad to hear this news about Dale Duncan. He had a beautiful soul and was a very friendly person. Unforgettable person for me. We had lots of happy conversations. He was Raw Space's most faithful friend. May God receive him in his peace. There were lots of other well wishes from both friends and acquaintances alike. And as for myself, Dale was a good friend. He was with the channel for, I think, about 2.5 years, and we talked daily about everything from his motorcycle riding to crazy wild stories from the past to he would always make these like rock music suggestions for us to listen to. He did love to play his music loud. There was no question there, which I thought was curious because in the Starman stream we always have this calming ambient music, but he was a man of eclectic taste and fiercely independent. He was kind, he was fair, he was a good man, and I consider myself honored to have known him. So thank you very much, Dale, and well, the rest has already been said by so many others. So thank you again. Now, moving on to the news of the week, we have last Tuesday. Let's see here. Go full screen. Last Tuesday, Boeing's Starliner was supposed to launch on an Atlas V N22 rocket so that it could rendezvous with the ISS the following day. This is the Boeing Starliner commercial crew craft that experienced the timer issue back in December of 2019, which resulted in a long process of debugging and fixing the software in that spacecraft. This is Boeing's analog, or Boeing's answer to the commercial crew question that is sort of the cousin or sister of SpaceX's Crew Dragon. So unfortunately, they had to scrub last Tuesday due to some unexpected valve positions on the Starliner craft. And to further explain, here's a quote from an insider who shall remain unnamed. It could take between several weeks and 2 months for Boeing to work through the valve problems that resulted in the launch scrub of the Starliner spacecraft on Tuesday. The vehicle will be launched from Florida on an uncrewed flight test to the International Space Station. The launch was scrubbed after engineers received what Boeing said was unexpected valve position indications in the propulsion system of the spacecraft. The signals came from more than half of the 24 propulsion valves in Starliner's service module, according to the unnamed insider source. The affected valves, which are positioned throughout the service module, supply fuel and oxidizer to Starliner's attitude control and orbital maneuvering thrusters and launch abort engines. Boeing said it ruled out software errors as a cause of the signals, which was, of course, a concern because it was a software error which caused their previous abort in 2019, when the computer's clock basically thought that the mission timer was 11 hours ahead of where it actually was, and so it was firing the thrusters willy-nilly in an attempt to get the spacecraft in an orientation that it was expecting to be in 11 hours. But in any case, Atlas V and Starliner have been rolled back to the Vehicle Integration Facility. Boeing might be able to launch Starliner in several weeks if engineers can address the problems there. If they need to return Starliner to Boeing's Commercial Crew and Cargo Processing Facility, a launch might not take place until October. So extended delays for Boeing Starliner. The optics are not good. People are generally grumbling about the status of the Boeing project, but hopefully they get all the kinks worked out, and when it actually does fly, it does so successfully. But we shall see. But not for a bit yet. Then on Tuesday, China's iSpace attempted to launch a Hyperbola 1 rocket, but it failed due to a stuck payload fairing. The fairing could not separate and jettison, so the mission was lost. The rest of the flight appeared to work well, though. Then, if you allow me a moment. On Wednesday, a Long March 6 rocket launched from Taiyuan, delivering a pair of KL Beta satellites into a sun-synchronous orbit. These two satellites will be used to test new interference suppression technology for Ka-band mobile communication satellites. Then on Thursday, a Long March 3B launched from Zhishang Satellite Launch Center with the Zhongxing 2E communications satellite. Let's check that one out. Also on Thursday, NASA test-fired an Aerojet Rocketdyne RS-25E developmental engine number 0528 for about 8.5 minutes on the A1 test stand at Stennis Space Center in Mississippi. Hello. In Mississippi. There you go. In Mississippi. The original RS-25D served as the space shuttle's main engines. These flight-proven veteran engines will propel the SLS rocket's core stage, along with 2 solid rocket boosters. Once the old engines are used up, however, subsequent SLS flights will use the new, cheaper, expendable RS-25E, such as is being tested here. And I'll leave you with some audio from that. I like that one. Then on Friday, SpaceX blew our minds with, whoopsie. There we go. SpaceX blew our minds with a fully stacked Starship vehicle on the orbital launch pad in Boca Chica. Super Heavy Booster 4 had been lifted onto the orbital launch pad a couple of days before. Then they hoisted Starship prototype Ship 20, or SN20, on top of Super Heavy to form the full stack. Here they are lifting up Starship and placing it down. Now you see this half of the rocket is black. That's heat tiles that they have put on the underside of Starship. This will be an orbital test vehicle once they get around to that particular flight. And here we have a artistic black and white photo giving you a sense of scale. This is the interconnection between the Super Heavy with those massive grid fins and a whole bunch of little workers on very, very tall cherry picker lifts with some major cojones to be lifted up in those things, because that is actually, well, we'll see the height here in a minute. But this picture reminds me of something you would have seen from like the construction of the Empire State Building with the high steel workers, but very cool. And they're not actually in between those two sections. They're on the cherry pickers beyond the top of Super Heavy, around the periphery of it. And then moving on to the next, we have the top-down view. This from the non-heat tile side of the vehicle, and it is tough to get a sense of just how massive this thing is, but this is actually taller than the Saturn V, which you can see here in this graphic I whipped up using. On the left we have a picture from SpaceX that was modified by an anonymous Twitter user. Hold on, testing. Okay. All right. By an anonymous Twitter user to remove the large crane in the background so that we could get a clearer view of Starship. But yeah, so the orbital launch stand itself is about 75 feet tall. The Super Heavy booster is another 230 feet or 70 meters on top of that. And then Starship, which is the upper stage, is 160 feet or 50 meters on top of that. The service tower that is next to it is 480 feet or 146 meters tall. And I heard recently that the FAA may be fussing about that service tower. There are noises that the FAA may not authorize it or permit SpaceX to use it. So I don't know. We'll see how this works out. The overall height of the Super Heavy booster and Starship upper stage stack, the overall vehicle is also called Starship, is 390 feet or 120 meters, which is greater than the Saturn V rocket, which was 363 feet or 111 meters, which you can see there next to the Starship. And I aligned the bottoms of the rockets so that the tops can be, like, the scale is equivalent, through the magic of Photoshop. But yeah, so that is it for last week. Now I'm going to have to sort of wing it for this week's launch forecast, because I ran out of time. So the reason, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show, and I'm sorry I didn't. The reason why the show this week is airing, 5 hours later than usual, is because at the regular time I broadcast SpaceWeek, I was on the road attending Dale Duncan's memorial service. So it was a brief service, but heartfelt, attended by various family and friends, and I wanted to make sure to attend that to honor my friend. But here I am now. Unfortunately, I did not have quite enough time after the 2-hour drive back home in order to fully flesh out my talking points, so I'm going to have to wing this next bit. So please forgive me. But let's see. This may jump around a little bit. Okay, so on the night of Thursday, August 12th, into the 13th, will be the peak of the Perseids meteor shower. Lots of long trains and fragmenting meteors. Best shower of the year. And the best time will be from midnight to dawn, because then you are on the leading side of Earth facing the direction we orbit the sun, which is where the meteors will be most visible. So between midnight and dawn, between the 12th and 13th, is when you want to look to the skies to catch some meteors. Let's see, on Tuesday, August 10th at 5:55 p.m. Eastern, 9:55 p.m. GMT, Northrop Grumman Antares rocket will be launching the CRS-2 NG-16 Cygnus cargo craft to the ISS. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, pre-launch briefing, schedule. Okay, so the launch itself is at 5:55 p.m. Coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'll have that here on Raw Space for you. Then, let's see, on Thursday the 12th, so before you go watch the Perseids, in the wee hours of 4:45 a.m. Eastern, 8:45 a.m. GMT, is coverage of the rendezvous and capture of Northrop Grumman NG-16 at the International Space Station. So if you recall, Cygnus it does not have an autonomous docking capability. It has to be grappled by the Space Station Robotic Arm, or Canadarm2, and and then berthed to the appropriate berthing port on the space station, as opposed to SpaceX Crew Dragon, Boeing Starliner, and Soyuz in Progress, which do have autonomous docking capability, as well as the Nauka module docked itself using the Russian Kurs docking system. Let's see. Then at 8 a.m. on Thursday, that's 8 a.m. Eastern, noon GMT, is coverage of the installation of Cygnus. So those streams will be split up. There will be 2 separate streams. And that's it from NASA. Any other launches? No, that's the 15th. Okay, it looks like also on the 12th, on August the 12th, at 8:13 a.m. Eastern, 12:13 p.m. GMT, an Indian GSLV-2 rocket, that's their geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, will be launching GSAT-1, or EOS-03, and that's from their launch center in Satish, or in Sriharikota, the Satish Dhawan Space Center. And they typically do have live streams. I'll be bringing that to you as well. Next launch after that is not until next Sunday evening, so I'll cover that in next week's Space Week. But I did want to mention a couple of changes that are coming. I have been for a long time accumulating a vast collection of satellite images from geostationary orbit, from at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association's GOES satellite, GOES, 2 of them actually, GOES East and GOES West, from Japan's Himawari 8 satellite, orbiting over Australia basically, but covering that hemisphere, as well as the Russian Electro-L satellite. And what will be happening is, at some point in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks, as I get the material ready, I'm going to retire the SpaceX Starman 24/7 live stream. I will continue to offer a 24/7 stream with music and chat, but it won't be Starman. I'm going to transition to, I call them slow-mo time lapses. They're AI interpolated time lapses of satellite images of the Earth, rotating between different views from the different satellites, and so that will be, that'll be the new stream. It's not ready yet, but I have quite a bit more work to do. But I'll let you know when it is ready. But I wanted to let you know that Starman will be retired after more than 3.5 years of streaming. It was actually maybe not quite 3.5 years of streaming. May 4th, 2018 is when I started streaming Starman, and I haven't stopped ever since. It's been a constant presence on the channel, but due to the precociousness of the YouTube algorithm, Starman just isn't being seen by very many people anymore. That is, YouTube isn't recommending it to anyone, so the numbers have been quite low, and so we're going to go ahead and retire Starman and try something else. It is sad because I love the Starman stream as much as anybody, but we'll still have the same good people in the chat, the same great music, although I also want to expand my library to include maybe some more upbeat music. The challenge is that I'm limited to copyright-free titles, because if I play copyrighted music, I'll get shut down. So, bad juju. And the other thing is, next week, next Saturday through Wednesday, I'm actually going to be out of town at the beach with my kids in a an end of summer beach vacation, which we haven't had a vacation in a long time because of the pandemic. But we're finally going to the beach. We'll be in a vacation rental by owner type condo, and nothing fancy. We're just going to go hang out at the beach for a few days. But I do want to bring you Space Week. So if I can manage it, maybe I can even broadcast Space Week from the beach, like from the actual sand. I don't know. Maybe who knows? We'll see. Hopefully the data connection there at the destination is good enough. If it's not, if I won't be able to stream reliably, then I'll just have to scrub for the day, and we'll resume the week after. But I do hope to bring you Space Week from the beach next week. All right. Let us get to any questions you might have, of which I am not seeing any that have been highlighted. 0. That's curious. All right. So I want to thank everyone who offered their condolences, their thoughts, their anecdotes, their stories, and their well wishes for Dale Duncan and his family and friends. The most important thing in life, and I guess this is one of those pearls of wisdom that you can jot down. The most important thing in life is our connection to other people. It's not money, it's not our house, it's not our accomplishments even. It is our connections with other people. And, that would include family, friends, those you care about, those you empathize with, even people you haven't met. My connection with Dale was powerful. It was important. And, honor those that you love, and honor those even that you don't know very well, because it matters. I mean, it really does. Take the time to say that you care. Take the time to be kind. And, we're all humans, and we're all in this same boat together. So let's lift each other up. All right, that's enough of that. S20. Okay, so Rockin' Robbins corrected me on the designator for Starship. They are now just calling it S20, not SN20. Snow Kittens, Starship is not, it may be more powerful, but it's not as thick as the THICC as the N1, the Russian N1 moon rocket that failed to launch, but provided a spectacular explosive display. All right, Rob 737-700, new stream sounds cool. Yep, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that could be streamed, but the simple fact is that the material I have the most of currently is, and that I've spent many hours working on, like both the infrastructure to gather this material and also processing it, because every month I accumulate approximately 350 gigabytes of satellite images, and I have to then render those into 8K videos and 4K videos. The new stream will be in 4K, which is pretty cool. Unlike the Starman stream, which is in 1080p. But yeah, so anyway. Chris V, the timing of the transitioning of the stream the passing of Dale is I might call it, I don't know, I'm not sure what word I would use, symbolic or catalyst or something, but there may be a correlation between those two events. All right. Yes, Rob, we're going to Florida. Our vacation spot will be in northern Florida. So I hope to meet up with Microbyte, who is our resident Floridian amongst our intrepid moderator corps, CORPS. MVM Motovlog Music, you made it. Thought you were going to be on the road. This is per MVM Motovlog Music. This is my favorite Dale Duncan joke. Question: what do you call a guy who tells dad jokes but has no kids? Answer: a faux pas. That is a terrible dad joke. MVM Motovlog Music loves it and enjoyed Dale's positive attitude. Yeah, he was a ray of sunshine in an otherwise bleak world, for sure. All right. Okay, so it looks like that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate your stopping by. And I hope to see you again in the next stream. Until then, keep it raw, good hunting, and take care.